watch any of that? It's a final series. It's an interesting tale this time. So you've got the Raptors who have one of the very best. They have the best defense in the league. And they have one of the very best players, two-way players.
I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance.
They're supporting
There's 5 parcels. We have several agreements. And just 5
It's pretty interesting.
Well,
The Warriors who.
One acre.
Out.
Okay.
5 parcels, one.
All right.
and that's all on file.
I'm sure it is.
Thompson went out with a full hamstring, so he didn't play.
And we're doing all the,
So they had to bring people in that hadn't been playing, but that,
I'll change this.
who's here, whatever his name, Cousins, Cousins. He hasn't been playing, he was injured, and then it just,
You know what
they
that was?
brought him to play. And
Wait,
the other night,
Wait, you're one.
2 or 3. 2 or 3.
One in and two
It's
over.
Curry at 47 points. And a little.
2000.
Open space.
25-year agreement. They're coming out after 7.
We all need it eventually. We got a whole bunch of plans.
Oh, I got one request.
Not my hand, raspberry Pi.
I got it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. Right, Donna? 5 count. I got it right here, Charlie.
You're on the pattern.
It's January 16th. I can just forward this stuff. No. The resolution. Well. It's in your
Today's resolution?
Huh?
Today's resolution?
No.
It was January, it was the resolution, January 16, 2003.
No. That was the resolution that we announced that we would have a public hearing, and the public hearing was held on Thursday, February 6th.
So it would have been February 6th. that we did the resolution.
Right, so I can look at that now.
I still have to get the other specifics.
Right, but I'm just saying we can pay this.
You ready, Karen? Everybody ready?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. We'll call the meeting of June 6th to order. Before we rise for the pledge of allegiance, today marks the 75th anniversary of D-Day. On June 6th, 1944, more than 150,000 Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy in northwest France, carried by 7,000 boats. This invasion was the largest ever undertaken and was a turning point in World War II. In the end, the Allied forces suffered more than 10,000 casualties with more than 4,000 dead. Today we take time to honor the courage and sacrifices of all those who lost their lives. We also honor the heroism of our veterans who bravely fought for our freedom and came back home. These veterans are a vital asset to our Webster community, and I thank them for their service. Take some time today to pause and reflect on this event that took place 75 years ago and the brave sacrifices that day to ensure the freedoms we enjoy today. If we all could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Cahill?
Present.
Councilwoman Cataldi? Present. Attorney Genesi?
Present.
Supervisor Nesbitt?
Here.
Councilman Abbott?
Here.
Councilman Dean?
Here.
We have 5 sets of minutes to go through this evening. We've got April 4th, April 18th, May 2nd, May 9th, and May 16th.
I would move that we approve the minutes of April 4th, 2019 as submitted.
Second.
Taldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Supervisor Newsom?
Aye.
I would move that we approve the minutes of April 18th, 2019, submitted by the town clerk.
Second.
Councilman Taldi?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Supervisor Newsom?
Aye.
I would move we approve the May 2nd minutes as submitted by the town clerk.
Second.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Taldi?
Aye.
Supervisor Newsom?
Aye.
I would move that we accept, or that we approve the minutes from May 9th, 2019, as submitted by the town clerk.
Second.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Taldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Supervisor Newsom?
Aye.
I move that we approve the minutes of May 16th as submitted by the town clerk.
Second.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Taldi?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Supervisor Newsom?
Next, we have open to the floor for anyone that would like to speak on any topic. Seeing no one, I will move on to regular town business.
I'd like to ask some questions.
Go right up to the podium there, sir. Give us your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Zawacki, Mike Zawacki, that's Brooksboro Drive, 46-year resident, town of Webster. Today marks D-Day. I just wanted to, not toot my own horn, but I am a combat wounded veteran in Beirut, Lebanon, 1983. What I'd like to ask today is, we're adjacent to the 17th hole of the Webster Golf Course, and we just found out that tomorrow they break ground and start building a roadway, and start building a property there. Looking around the room here, I don't see any of our other neighbors here. But the question I guess I have is, it seems that the town didn't even factor in, the town or the developers didn't necessarily factor in what the residents' concerns were about all of a sudden having 100+ neighbors in the town. And we know that in the best interest of the town, we probably said yes to the project because it's 100+ new tax bills. And the way we see it is if the golf course got an exemption for 46 years, those of us, dozen or a couple of dozen or so people that are affected by this via the value of our properties will probably go down. Our assessments, taxes being the way they are, will probably remain the same. I guess my biggest question is, because that one property owner, the golf course, had an exemption for as long as they did, and because we weren't even factored into the equation, are we going to be up for consideration to have some kind of an exemption or a tax break in our property, because now we have to all of a sudden absorb this?
No. So let me answer some of your questions. The golf course went into the conservation easement back in 2003, and they're gonna come out tonight if the board, so that's 17 years that they were in the conservation easement. The houses that are gonna be built there, sir, are in $350,000 to $400,000 range, okay? The town had no, I wish this wasn't happening, but let me say that, the board wishes. I wish the golf course would have come to the town, like they did in Penfield, and asked if we were interested in buying it. That did not happen. They straight went to a developer, and they got the price that they wanted to get. The property was zoned R3, buildable for a single-family house, okay? So they had that right to do that, okay? And just like your house, years ago, it was probably farmland. And the farmer, at one point in time, decided he was going to sell the house, sell the land. And they built Birchbrook. I remember, I've been here 58 years, so I remember when they put that in. So that was sold by somebody, and they put houses in. So this is what's happening here tonight. Some back side to this is, golfers aren't, it's not as busy as it used to be, golf courses. There's too many in Rochester. And it was not economically viable for them to continue with the West Course. Simple as that. So they went to a developer and they're gonna put 106 houses in there. Now, there were planning board meetings for this project for months. So if you missed them, I'm sorry. But the planning board has looked into this project for a long time, a couple of years now. And a lot of people had a lot of input into what was gonna happen. Okay, so, the town board didn't have any input, because we don't have input in development, that's up to the planning board. It's not up to us. That's up to the developer, that's up to the planning board. So, as far as your property values, I really don't think they're going down there. Not at all. When every one of these houses are gonna be in about the 400,000 area. And if you know where 5 Mile Line and Atlantic Avenue is,
Sure.
Ryan built those homes. He sold every one of them for $400,000. There is a market for these houses. Town board is not upset, but we would have liked to kept it as open space. But we were never offered that opportunity.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell them tonight, if they decide to do something with the East Course, I wish that they would come to the town first and let us have an opportunity to buy it. Because I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. But I just wanna put that out there to the golf course, that if something happens and you wanna sell it in the future, we would like to look into purchasing the East Course as open space. Okay? So, but if they don't give us that opportunity, it's their right to do what they want with their land. Okay?
So at this point, we really don't, it doesn't matter, it's gonna go through no matter what, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And on the different note, if I could complain about one more thing, I mean, we've been, you know, I remember when Brooksboro was an apple orchard, when my parents bought that property, it was an apple orchard.
Correct.
Along with Morley Farms and everything down the road. So we watched the golf course go from a soybean field to a golf course within the year of us moving in there, and progress is progress. But I will say this, in the 46 years that we've been paying property tax, one of our biggest hangups is for 6 months of every year, usually from December till about the end of May, we have a mountain of snow in front of our cul-de-sac. We're the actual end driveway at that cul-de-sac, which is actually a hazard for the bus, for the kids getting on the bus, and we joke and say for all the money we've paid in taxes over the last 46 years, we could take one of the plow trucks that we bought and one of the dump trucks we bought, and a loader, and once a month come and remove the mountain of snow from our cul-de-sac, you know, on an irregular basis, because again, I know it sounds like a trivial plea, but if you saw how our property and where our driveway is in regards to that, it's really not asking a lot to have a town truck come in once a month or just assess it every month and a half, so you can at least see over it, rather than having to scurry around it. It's a traffic hazard.
Have you talked to the highway superintendent about that?
No. But I figured if we could talk about anything, I might as well bring it up.
Okay. Next year, when the season starts and you start to get a lot of snow, give the highway department a call, and they'll come down and assess the situation and do what they can to relieve it. Whether they haul that snow all the way, I doubt,
Right,
but they
right.
might be able to help
Let's
out.
put it then, sure. Fair enough.
Okay.
No further. Thank you for the courtesy of your time.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
My pleasure and my pain.
I just find it really unfortunate that you've not heard of the project until now, because there had been a lot of discussion about this, probably for the last year and a half, almost 2 years.
Well, we heard about it a couple years ago. We went to a meeting at the golf course, and we just got the idea they were just gonna go ahead and run with.
Well, even if it's something that we can't stop, in the planning board process, they took a lot of input from all of the residents, so you should always follow up once it goes there. That's where you have the real say.
Yeah, they made some significant changes
They did.
to the plan from what was originally proposed. And that was based on neighbors' input. I know that the developers met with a lot of the neighbors, and they reduced the amount of houses pretty significantly from what was on the original plan.
Okay. Anyone else to open to the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to regular town business. We got consideration to approve purchase orders, bills, prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance. Councilwoman Cataldi did the bills today.
I did, I reviewed the bills today and found it all to be in order, and would make a motion that we approve paying those.
Second.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye. Also move to pay the prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Next, we have a resolution to consider a petition by the owners of Webster Golf Club to cancel its participation in the open space preservation program pursuant to Chapter 152 of the Webster Town Code. Every step that we're following tonight is in the Town Code book, or you could find it on the website. It's 152-9. It's called cancellation of open space preservation. The owner or owners may petition the town board for cancellation of the agreement, or the town board may, on its own motion, seek cancellation upon good cause shown. The golf club has sent in, within the past 30 days, a notice to cancel this agreement. Such cancellation shall be granted upon payment of the amounts provided in 152-10. We'll be talking about those in a minute. Such amounts or a portion thereof may be waived by the town board only if good cause or cancellation is catastrophic, illness, death of the property owner, or otherwise in the interest of justice. Payment or abated taxes, penalties for violation and cancellation of agreement. At the time of such cancellation or in the terms of the conveyance of interest or right have been violated by the landowner, the town will assess rollback taxes and a penalty unless waived as described in 152-9. There's no reason for the town board to waive anything. The penalty shall be assessed against all the land under conveyed interest or right, except in the case of the death of a sole owner, in which case the penalty would be assessed only against that portion which is to be developed or changed in use within 1 year of the date of the death. There is no death here, so that does not apply. If there is a substantial violation of the terms and conditions of the agreement, or if said agreement is canceled by the town board upon petition, the then owner or owners of the said property must pay to the town of Webster unless waived pursuant to 152-9 both of the following amounts. Payment of abated taxes. All taxes granted abatement under and pursuant to the agreement. Said taxes to include the state, county, town, school districts, and all special improvement districts and other taxing units to which the property is subject shall be repaid. The amount of the payment of such abated taxes shall be limited as follows. Any agreement broken before its 11th year will be subject to a 5-year maximum rollback. Any agreement broken between its 11th and 15th year will be subject to a 4-year maximum rollback. And an agreement broken in its 16th year or later will be subject to a 3-year maximum rollback. We are now in the 17th year of this agreement, which was taken out in 2003. This factors that it would only be a 3-year maximum rollback. Penalties. The penalty shall be assessed on the basis of the previous year's tax abatement multiplied by a factor equal to the term of the agreement divided by the current year of the agreement. This factor shall not exceed 5. Any and all penalties collected by the town and attributed to the town pursuant to 152-10 shall be used solely for open space and or parkland acquisitions or improvement or maintenance purposes. What that means is, when I give you the numbers here, there is a penalty number, and that money will go into a separate parks and maintenance account that we have to improve the parks or open space if the town board deemed it necessary to buy some open space later on. At this point in time, the assessor is present tonight, Donna Coleman, and she did these estimates because they are estimates at this point in time. The initial roll of the agreement was done in 2003. The last roll of the agreement honored was 2019. The term of the agreement was 25 years. The current year of the agreement, we're in the 17th year. Okay, here we go. The rollback, 2017, these are taxes that are going to be paid back to the school, the town, the fire district, and the county. Okay? 2017, school district gets 52,041, town gets 10,793, fire gets 2,421, and the county will get 20,926. There's some change on there, but I'm not reading all those numbers. In 2018, school district will get back 53,044, town will get back 10,924, fire district will get back 2,437, and the county will get back 21,890. 2019, school will get back 51,795, the town will get back 11,114, the fire district will get back 2,455, and the county will get back 22,970. The total amount of the rollback in taxes is $262,816.63. So I think that answers some of your questions, sir, about the taxes coming back.
Right.
They're paying us back, okay? So on top of that was the penalty, which I told you about, that will go to the Park and Trust Fund. Park and Trust Fund, the penalties on that would be $129,906.51 for a grand total of a payback to get out of this agreement of $392,723.14. That's what they're going to pay us at closing, whenever that takes place, shortly, I heard. I don't know for sure. I don't think you can tell me, can you, Dave?
I believe it's the first week of July.
Okay. So in that time period, the assessor is going to redo these numbers as we get close. This is an estimate right now.
Well,
We're set on these.
We're set on these as an estimate
Yes.
until another tax rate comes up. Some of these tax rates are estimated.
Okay. All right. So, any questions from the town board? We've been discussing this for a while.
will we have to take a motion on this once we have the exact amount?
No, this is the estimate,
Okay.
and what's going to happen there is, when we get to closing, if we've been to a closing, you got to pay back. Don has overestimated a little bit here, so we might have to pay back the new owners some money. Okay? So, like any closing you go to, you get selected bills, whatever you owe back.
So our resolution
There's
is
nothing-
rescinding the agreement not being bound.
Correct, there's nothing in there.
That's
Right,
what
yeah,
it's
just
saying.
rescind.
The agreement will be.
The penalties will be divided up the same way?
No,
No?
penalties all belong to the town. Penalties all belong to the town and go into the park and trust. Okay? I do would like to say also, this agreement sunsetted a while back. We don't have this agreement any longer. There still are people in this agreement that put in for 25 years or more. So we will continue with them in this agreement, but we're not taking on any new projects in this agreement because we did away with it. 2010?
Yes.
2010, we did away with it. So,
We discontinued it.
Discontinued.
It is,
Okay.
it's still in effect for those obviously that have the contract.
yes.
it's being sunset.
Okay.
What'll happen is that if the town board approves the cancellation, the agreement will be canceled as to all the properties, and upon payment of the amounts as specifically determined, the supervisor, I'll prepare and the supervisor will sign a cancellation agreement, which will be given to the new owners.
Also, this is 5 parcels, okay? It's just not the west course. The agreement for the conservation easement also included properties on the east course and the driving range. So they're all gonna now go back to full value as far as what they're gonna pay in taxes. They're not gonna get that break anymore, they're all coming off because they're paid back. It's 5 parcels, not just 1 parcel, it's 5 parcels, okay? So that will also be something associated. Any questions for anybody? I'll open up the audience. Anybody got any questions I did not clarify or I did not make correct? Town board? Everybody understand?
Yeah, thanks for the rest.
So again, I just want to emphasize to Dave, who's here from the golf course, that if something on the east course happens, I would hope that you would contact me so the town board could probably purchase it as open space or look at it as a referendum for open space or something.
Definitely, definitely let Colin know.
Okay, thank you. So I have a resolution of the Webster Town Board to rescind an open space agreement between the Webster Golf Club and the town of Webster on South Road, town of Webster. I don't have any, there's 5 of them.
Right.
So I'm not gonna read them all. Whereas the Webster Golf Club now wishes to cancel said one in both agreements and have petitioned the town board to do so. Whereas pursuant to chapter 152 of the town code of the town of Webster, specifically 152.9 therein, the town board may consider the cancellation of open space preservation agreement upon good cause shown. Good cause having been shown, the aforesaid agreement between the town of Webster and the Webster Golf Club dated 2003 may be canceled and rescinded upon payment of penalties and rollback taxes commencing with the 2019
2020,
2020?
2017.
2020.
2019, the final, the last assessment roll to which the
Well, no,
discount.
the rollback taxes will commence 2017. Correct, 2017.
Yes. Through 2020. Okay.
Yes.
Tax roll year. And to the present of all abated school, town, and county and special improvement taxes as assessed pursuant to the Webster Town Code, section 152-10. The reason why this is so complicated is because everybody's on a different, school's in September, the town is on the calendar year, and the fire district, and it makes it difficult to do all the numbers. The supervisor is hereby authorized upon payment of the penalty so assessed to enter into an execute a cancellation agreement, which agreement may be filed in the office of the clerk of the county of Monroe. The property owner shall pay all costs for the filing of this cancellation agreement. As such, costs are provided and determined by the Monroe County Court and shall provide proof of said filing to the town of Webster. This action has been determined as a type 2 action under the New York State Environmental Water Review Act and has not been determined to have a significant impact on the environment.
Second.
Supervisor Nesbit.
Aye.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Okay, it does it. Next we have a resolution to approve a reinspection fee for televising sanitary storm sewers at $1.50 per foot. This is a reinspection. We already charge for inspection, but new housing development, sometimes mud, dirt, whatever gets inside the pipes, and we gotta come back and reinspect. So we're looking for a resolution to approve a reinspection fee for coming back a second time for televising sanitary storm sewers at $1.50.
What's that, 2 years later, Jeff?
Yes, we've had a problem with, it was in the building department's fees. This time we're putting it into the sewer department's fees, but yes, it's 2 years.
It has to be done before their letter of credit is
Correct.
released.
We don't release it until everything's clear.
It's a linear fee, right?
Is that your resolution, Ron?
Yes, please.
Second.
Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Aye.
And last night, we have a resolution to declare the following surplus for trash recycle from the Department of Public Works, LCD monitor asset number 03397.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Kirklandine?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye. That will conclude tonight's meeting. I'll take a call in if anybody cares to, 872-7011, 872-7011. Announcement, opening day for the 2019 season at Webster's Joey Market is this Saturday, June 8th, from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Summer Town Board will be joining the farmers market along with several organizations and elected officials. This Saturday, the Town Board and I will be joined by Town Justice David Fortor, Assemblyman Mark Johns, County Legislator George Hebert, and the Friends of the Webster Trails. Matt Chatfield from the Webster Economic Development Alliance, and non-commissioned officers of the United States Army. We invite all residents to come visit the market, stop by our booth to discuss anything related to the town and county and learn more about our Webster organizations. The Farmers Market is located in the Webster Town Center at the corner of Holt and Ridgewood.
We're gonna need a bigger booth.
Yes, we are. The Friends of Webster Trails are going to be busy this weekend because on Sunday, the Friends of Webster Trails will be hosting their Community Trail Maintenance Day from 9 till 1 at the Whiting Road Nature Preserve. All residents are invited to participate. It's going to be a beautiful day, so come dressed appropriately and bring your boots and gloves, and it's a good day, and it's great to be out there and clearing trails for our residents and visitors that come to Webster. Some of the most beautiful trails that I've been on in years, and I worked with them 2 years ago, and a few weeks ago we cleared a trail out, and looking forward to joining them again this Sunday. So if you have an opportunity, please join the Friends of Webster Trail again on Sunday from 9 till 1 at the Whiting Road Nature Preserve.
This Saturday, there will be a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Carpus Family Barrier-Free Playground at 2 p.m. This new playground will be located next to Challenger Miracle Field, which is behind Town Hall at 1000 Ridge Road. The new barrier-free play space and adaptive playground will be the only one of its kind in Monroe County and will provide full accessibility and sensory benefits to the children with disabilities to create a truly inclusive ADA-approved play space. Before the groundbreaking ceremony, there will be a Challenger Baseball Opening Day celebration from 1 to 4. All residents are invited to join us for this celebration.
No, there's a lot going on this
It's
week.
busy weekend. It's supposed to be great weather too.
What's
So.
taxes?
We are done.
Taxes are done.
We are done collecting taxes, but if anyone still wishes to pay any of their town and county taxes, you can pay them to Monroe County. And if you're not sure how much you owe, you are welcome to call the tax office at 872-7064, or you can go to the Monroe County website at www.monroecounty.gov.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night. See you in 2 weeks.
Who's the actual?
Is that a beer you have?
No. Ginger ale.
Thomas Murphy.
Great job, as usual.